Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PLG Disrupt. Our next speaker is Violaine Yziquel, Senior Customer Success Manager at Slack and CEO of the Customer Success Network. Vio started her career at Accenture, and for 8 years, she has developed strong skills in product management, customer operations, and project delivery. She has a solid background in digital transformation with a proven record of scaling and enabling teams developing robust customer success programs that help customers get the most out of their purchase at Box, at startups, and now at Slack. In this session, Vio will discuss how to make customer success more pleasant and more productive using Slack, and how it can help CMS solve common pain points by changing the way they connect with customers, manage their accounts, and scale their teams. Vio, we're all ears. Welcome on stage.
Hi, everyone. My name is, Despina, let's do it again, that's fine. Hi, everyone. I'm super pleased to be with you today at this PLG Disrupt conference. My name is Vio. I'm a Senior Manager of Customer Success at Slack. And I also am the CEO of Customer Success Network, one of the largest peer learning community of customer success practitioners that aims at elevating the profession. I guess I don't have to present Slack to this PLG audience, but I'm just going to repeat our motto here at Slack, which is Slack isn't selling software, Slack is selling a positive user experience. Today, I'm going to show you how Slack can create a positive experience for customer success practitioners and customer success leaders. So let me share my screen so that we can go into the details of this topic. All right, let me just find it. Here you go. So I hope you can see it properly. Let me share in present mode. All right. So I'm also super conscious that not all of you in the audience might be a customer of Slack, and obviously that's okay. The reason why I'm bringing that topic today is, well, I work at Slack, I work in customer success, and I lead a community of customer success practitioners. And I also strongly believe that product-led growth and customer success, well, there's a big gap to be bridged. And I think we can make that happen using some sort of those use cases. So that's why I'm bringing that topic to you today. Now let's go back to the topic. Customer success is all about growth and loyalty and retention and satisfaction. And it requires lots of people and systems and processes to do so. What if you had a tool that could make you do that in a good way, in a productive way as well? What if you could actually connect the dots between multiple teams or multiple functions and departments to get to your customers in a faster way, to shorten the time for you to deliver value to those customers? What if you could have a different way to engage with your peers, your coworkers, your partners, and even your customers? Well, that's what we're going to cover today in that session. How to make customer success more pleasant and more productive using Slack. So as said earlier, I lead a community of customer success practitioners. And in that community, we have a group of CS leaders. And I sent a survey actually a couple of months ago to those leaders to ask about the challenges and pain points they were struggling with at the moment. They came back to me with a couple of them, actually a lot of them, but top ones that I could just summarize a bit more on that screen. Everything around, well, my teams or my CSMs are really struggling to switch context between different apps and, being really focused on what they need to do in terms of delivering value to their customers. Very difficult to get the right customer knowledge and be up to speed on what's happening on an account. It's also very difficult to get close to a customer, to nurture a customer and really understand how to escalate the right thing at the right time. From a customer feedback perspective, again, that can be lost into translation, another challenge in there. And last but not least, it could take a lot of time to onboard people or new joiners and make them up to speed super, super fast. So all of those challenges, well, yes, they absolutely make sense to me as well. I could summarize them into 3 main challenges or 3 main buckets in a way. So how do you scale your teams? How do you manage your accounts? And how do you get closer to your customers? And a good thing is Slack can actually change the way you can do those things, nurturing your customers, managing your accounts, and scaling your teams. Let's start with the first one, as we're in customer success. So we pretty much customer-centric. I mentioned earlier that in terms of customer relationships, we could have like a couple of barriers, right? We all know what those barriers can be. Emails can be very slow in terms of sharing the customer knowledge. You can have multiple threads, people just add it into some threads, but it's not the right one you shared to the rest of the account team. So you're losing track of what you've shared. You're losing track of who's up to date on what's happening on a customer. You have lots of feedback from customers coming from multiple sources as well, and sometimes can be very cumbersome. And again, you can lose that feedback. The customer can feel frustrated because he or she can feel that it's not being listened to. Those are barriers to getting those customer relationships. I'm going to go through 3 very simple use cases to show you how, with Slack, we can break some of those barriers. And the first one is about our shared channels. So we're not using emails, or very rarely within Slack. We're using what we call shared channels. We call it as well Slack Connect in our wording. And this is where we're going to connect with our customers from day 0. So even before the sign off, when they're only prospects, we're going to be there with the start of the account team, trying to get the right people in there to understand their pains, try and go up until the deal is signed off, and we know exactly what we want to solve as a pain. And then we can go to like that prospect becoming a customer. It comes to onboarding, same thing. You want a proper team to come on board and help them on board and implement. You're going to add that team into the channel, right? So you can really have all of that implementation experience directly into the shared channels, adding the right resource at the right time with the right content. This is how you can shorten the time to value as well. This is how you can create trust with the customer. Another good thing is you can have the execs in those channels. So both from a customer standpoint, but also from you as a vendor, like from your standpoint. And in terms of escalating any issue that can arise, it's just gold because it's really fast in terms of how you can react directly again into that channel. That works super well for high touch accounts. So when I say high touch, is usually the customers that spend the most with your company or the ones that have the biggest logo. So basically the ones that have white glove type of support, but it can also work for accounts that have a bit of a lower value that we call at scale, right? The reason I'm saying that it's because we're always trying to think of things that we can scale. That's why at Slack we're all about bot. And SuccessBot is one that is super, super interesting to look into. This one was deployed a couple of years ago in terms of allowing the one-to-many communications or one-to-many messages to multiple customers at once. It allows us to have a consistent tone and messaging when going back to a customer, when it comes to a newsletter, product new features, customer stories, any industry insights, event invites, because people in there, again, back to the shared channel, the customers can react with emojis, with a post, with an at mention. So again, the account team will be pulled into that conversation, can again jump into that and provide additional details that can unravel opportunities or again, spot like problems or conversations early on. As you can see as well, the click-through rate on that SuccessBot messages on the shared channels is way higher than the ones you can expect from a newsletter. So again, something very much at scale that provides a consistency, provides tailored messaging as well, because you can also select an industry, the plan they're on, so that you can really have a one-to-many, still tailored type of outreach. So very, very handy for everyone. And again, saves lots of time for the CSMs and any other rep in the account team. I've mentioned as well the customer feedback. That's our last example for this one. As I said, the feedback comes from multiple places. Can come from Twitter, can come from Zendesk, our ticketing system, from the CSM, the rest of the account team. Everything right now at Slack is aggregated into central channels. You have then product and engineering being part of that channel. It's an open and transparent channel anyway. The account team can get in there. And for every feedback being triggered or pulled into that channel, the product and engineering team is going to acknowledge, approve, or reject that feedback. That status is going to need obviously some rationale, but then it's going to be triggered back to the customer through like a Zendesk ticket or through any other email, etc., or Slack message, so that the customer is kept in the loop. So we're really making sure we're closing the loop so that the customer feels like he or she is being listened to. even if something is rejected, that's fine as long as the customer knows it. It's all about communication and engaging the right way with the customer. So when it comes to growing and nurturing customer relationships, it's all about building that trust. So it's all about having the right people at the right time, with the right resource, the right content. It's all about making sure you understand their pains and you solve them pains in a timely manner, right? So it sounds pretty straightforward. So it's how you can really increase as well the way you reach our customers, the way you can increase that trust with the customer and increase the lifetime account value. Because yes, ultimately, you're looking out for growth and lifetime value. Now let's move on to our second item, which is about managing your accounts in a seamless way. Again, I'm just gonna mention about like the main inconvenience of having siloed teams, right? We all know that having siloed teams can have a really strong impact on our competitive advantage. It can require lots of extra work to put everyone up to speed. Again, think of like all of those email chains or threads that you have to transfer to someone, but maybe it's not the latest information you have in an account. Well, it's the same. It requires extra work to make sure you put everyone up to speed. So you don't have the right person at the right time to answer a customer need, it can just have an impact on the way you solve a pain as well. So again, it doesn't impact on the trust. And when you don't have the time to just sit down and think forward, you can have missed opportunities to challenge the way customers think about things and how you can create your own point of view. Again, I have 3 very simple use cases we have at Slack that can help break those silo teams. And it all starts with fostering a one-team mindset or one-team motion. We have, similar to the shared channels we have with our customers, we're going to have similar ones, but on the internal side, right? So for all of our accounts, we're going to have all of the account team in there. We can really spot problems super early on because we have everyone at the right place that we can mention, we can react, etc., directly into that internal channel. This is where everything related to an account would live. Stakeholder mapping, account research, industry research, event invite, any presentation to be prepared for an executive business review, whatever demo you want to do with that person, etc. Everything is going to happen in there. And again, everything can react. Same, there's an escalation, boom, everything in that central channel. Because you can just put in the executive who's looking into this account and ask for any feedback, ask for any outreach to be done, any action, etc. It's going to be done in a timely manner again. It's critical for leadership visibility. And again, you can really do many things in the channel instead of jumping on a call and talking on a call. It's great to have those relationships like over the phone, obviously, but if you can just gain some time and do everything on a post, that's super handy as well. From a handoff perspective, again, everything is in the channel and through like the search and the power of search, you can really find the latest updates on the accounts or some presentations from before. So that one team motion is really important to just make sure that, again, it's about sharing the same knowledge from a customer to the overall account team. It's all about making sure everyone has a seat at the table to build his or her own point of view to contribute to the overall account strategy. And that is good as well. It really promotes equality and transparency in the way we manage our customers. Second one, and it's another example of account teaming, it's about making sure or requesting some people to jump into a conversation to solve something specific with the customer. Can be around a renewal conversation, can be around a customer success engagement pitch, can be around a technical problem that a customer is trying to solve. Well, at Slack, we have specific workflows that someone in the account team can trigger based on those requests, like based on those requirements around, like, let's say, a renewal conversation. And that workflow would trigger a request or a ping into a central channel that the manager of that resource would see, right? Again, it's about acknowledging, approving, or rejecting that request. It's all about having the right level of information as well. So when someone is doing that request, because he or she is going to put that information up front, it's going to remove the back and forth for the manager to understand the exact requirement and to just approve or reject based on those facts. Again, time gained. It can really reduce churns as well. If you think of those renewal requests, that's how you can have, again, a renewal manager, or maybe it's going to be an executive to help on that renewal to make it happen. So really like a huge benefit on that front. Last but not least, it's very important as well from an account management perspective to have the latest insights from an industry perspective or from a competition perspective as well. And we have global central channels for all of our key industries and also for our main competitors. And in there, it's all about, as an accounts team or as a member of the account team, to go in there and ask any question because you're facing a specific challenge with a customer. You're going to go in there, you're going to ask for an expert to help you, and it's going to be done like quite instantly, right? So the response is going to be there because someone else in that similar industry is going to have faced the same challenge, so can help. So it's not about reinventing the wheel, it's about using other brains to just get faster to solving a pain. Similarly, when you have access to the latest industry news, you can also go to the customer and challenge the way they do things on their side. Think of a media and entertainment company, which goes a lot through M&A or like mergers and acquisitions type of approach or organic growth. If you've seen in those industry channels the news around like acquisitions happening for that customer, you can just go quickly to that customer and say, that's how I can help. That's how Slack can help. Those are the use cases we've seen with other customers. Let's build that together. And that is gold as well, because it's really make you or create or build your credibility in front of the customer because you're making assumptions. So you're really challenging the status quo and making it a valuable and trustworthy relationship with the customer again. So that's really fostering that challenger mindset. So I hope you've seen how you can really break those customer knowledge silos in an attempt to really make sure you can fasten the time to value for those customers, because you have access to like the right account team at the right moment, you can have access to the right insights. So you can really have the right mindset to challenge the way the customer thinks about things and maybe make him or her imagine things that he or she would never have imagined of, right? So it's all about going above and beyond. And I think I'm really going to reemphasize the fact that having those account channels, that knowledge that is at everyone's disposal, makes it a very transparent and fair and equal process for everyone to have a seat at the table and to contribute to the account strategy. And to me, that's really, really gold, because the more equitable this is, then you can really understand the customer pains in a better way. You can really define the gains in a better way and again, shorten time to value. So that's how the customer gets less frustrated, and that's how you increases of the growth and lifetime value. All right, let's move on to the last one, because you can do that as an account team, like sharing everything, but can you also do it at scale? Absolutely, because you can maximize your efficiency. You can also maximize your team efficiency. So let's go dive into this one. I think we've all been through those very repetitive tasks and boring tasks in a way, where you have to go to like the Asana, the Trello, the Confluence, like whatever tool you're using to just log your activities, your admin tasks, and it takes a lot of time, right? So it's the time you cannot spend with your customers, understanding their pains. It can be around not being able to sit down and think about what's coming next as a next step for your customer. So how can you expect to just deliver a success roadmap for your customer that is long-term? Because you have no headspace to just think about it and regroup as an account team to make it work. Again, there are 3 very simple use cases to go through right now. For us, productivity matters from the start, and it starts with the onboarding for the new joiners. We have a very automated onboarding workflow that works for both the new joiners and the managers, actually. We have our learning management system. We have Continue here at Slack that is connected to that workflow. So it tells the new joiner exactly when to start a course, when is it due, when there's a sign-off expected, etc. And the manager is also up to date as well in terms of what's expected. So he or she can check with the new joiner what's going on, how he or she is feeling about it, and how he or she can support, right? Because it's all about making sure you're providing that safe space of learning for the new joiner. So having those reminders, having that flow as well is super handy, because from the start, you're going to get to use Slack and really understand how to be efficient using that. Again, from an account perspective and handover perspective, you just have to go into the internal account channels. You have all of the legacy knowledge, the history and the customer in there using the search. You have the latest decks that have been used in there as well. So you can really get up to speed super easily. Same in terms of introductions to the customer. Boom. You go to the shared channel, you have the AE just putting a quick introduction in there. You're already into the whole, buzz or like super exciting moments with the customer, like right away, right in the middle of the conversations, being part of those channels right away. Second one, and it's another example of efficiency, it's all about those account metrics and alerting systems. Again, everything is for us integrating within Slack, so we don't have to switch between apps to get those reminders, etc. We have Salesforce, our CRM, being integrated into Slack as well, which makes it even easier. So when I talk about account metrics, it's everything about the active users, like the daily, monthly, whatever. It's all about the channels. Are they active, not active? What about the integrations? What about the workflows that have been built? Everything that makes it an engaged platform and a customer that is regularly engaging with the platform. And those metrics, as you can see in there, the snapshot, the Slack Analytics one, is one that you can trigger in all of your account channels. That's super handy because, again, because it's in a channel, as an account team, you can react using an emoji, using an at mention, and just as an account team, react on whether or not it's a good trend, a bad trend, and what's next. So you can also react back directly to the shared channel with the customer saying, "Oh, something has happened. Shall we just discuss about it?" So again, very smooth and seamless in terms of process. Another good thing as well is about the reminders. So as CS practitioners or leaders, we assume all have to do something around either license utilization forecast or churn forecast. Well, we have some proper reminders, either directly through Salesforce or with an integration through Troops.ai, which is a fantastic tool actually, that is going to tell you exactly when to update some of your churn forecast or when to update some of your risky accounts that we call red accounts here at Slack. And again, you can update directly into Slack, which is gold again, and such a time saver. Most importantly, it's going to save time in your head to just not think about the reminders, because Slack is going to do it for you. It frees some headspace for you to think about things that are more strategic for your customers, that are more around value, use cases, and outcomes-based conversations. So much more interesting as well. The other one I really wanted to mention today is another bot of ours, and we're very proud of this one. It is called Midas. Midas is basically a bot which is going to get data from many sources of truth, including the CRM, so Salesforce, or our admin console, or any other analytics tool. It's going to aggregate everything into a very visual and nicely looked slide deck that is going to be generated in a couple of minutes, and you can share it right away with like any customer or admin of yours, so that you can share the way your customer is engaging with the platform. This is just gold because in a couple of minutes, you just click on a button, you select your customer directly into Slack, and you have that deck ready to use. It saves so many hours for the reps, both CSMs actually and the sales people. That is just a game changer as well for the account teams. It can, again, unravel lots of opportunities, can help in terms of mitigating churn situations with your customers. It's a fantastic bot. Obviously, I'm going to say that not everything in terms of customer conversation and valuable conversation with the customer is about those engagement metrics, but it's just about getting more knowledge of your customer so that you're comfortable. And when you come to the table at your customer, you really understand that part of the business, so that you can focus on the rest of it, which is, again, more strategic. But that's really a game changer. Super handy, super quick to use, and saves so much time. So this is how we unlock efficiencies at Slack. It's about using those bots, those workflows, making sure that we also start that from scratch with the new joiners. It's really how you can free some headspace to, well, yes, spend more time with your customers, right? But also spend more time doing your research, trying to find the right people to talk to, talking about use cases, doing user interviews. And that's how you can focus on these outcomes conversation, how you can really realize that value for them. And I think that's the core of what a CS practitioner and CSS leader job is about. And that's, to me as well, the most exciting part of it. So it's how you can unleash success by really making those teams much more efficient. So if at this stage of the presentation, you've not yet reached a very more productive and more pleasant way of working, I still have one thing left for you. And we call it digital first approach. Why is that so important? Well, the pandemic hit us like a year ago in 2020, more than a year ago actually. And it hit us from a personal standpoint, obviously, but from a working perspective, well, we've sent a survey to many organizations across the globe to really understand how they were like facing those new changes in the workplace. And about 2/3 of the respondents came back to us saying that they wanted more flexibility. And it was flexibility about where and when they wanted to work. And I think this is really disrupting the way we thought about the workplace, and it is disrupting the way organizations are engaging with their whole workforce. And because of that need for flexibility, companies have to be more flexible and allow that flexibility to happen in the workplace and to really review their engagement model. I think by now, all of those organizations are looking for those solutions, right? To make or to offer alternatives to employees and to customers, to partners, to again, provide or enable that new hybrid way of working. Right now, we have very specific asynchronous and synchronous way of working, which are email and then the Zoom meetings and the in-person meeting, etc. And that's been our landscape for many, many years now. And in a way, it is working, but there's still that gap in the middle where we could make it even more seamless for employees and customers, etc., to work together in a more efficient way. Slack has been working relentlessly to make that happen and to bridge that gap between asynchronous and synchronous. Slack has been working on like the huddles, which is about creating some sort of a virtual audio room for people to join as if they were in the office, but it's a virtual one, right? But you can still hear your teammate just sipping coffee or listening to his music, like whatever. It's just recreating that atmosphere. I've talked about the Slack Connect channels as well, so where you can talk to your customers in a seamless way. We're going to have as well a proper repository, like with Slack Atlas. There's lots of things happening, but I'm just going to focus maybe just quickly on the one which is around the video recording. So we have voice recording and screen sharing, etc. But the video recording has been something that I've been using super intensively. And I have to say, it has really changed the way I interact with my peers or my team. So those clips, the video clips, is just about, instead of having a Zoom meeting or now in real life meeting, a 30-60 minute one, you can actually share a video clip to just present like your narrative and maybe reduce the time you spend on camera, right? So I'm going to take a very simple example. When it comes to forecast, like the churn forecast, most of the time I'm going to share a quick video clip with the team saying, okay, this is how we're trending with the quarter. Those are our big bets. Those are the ones we need to watch before the end of the quarter. This is where we need some support. Like, let's just make sure we as a team are aware of what's happening. I'm going to share that in our team channel. I can also share that directly with my sales counterparts so that we foster alignment back to that one team motion. That is super important. And that knowledge is going to be shared. So instead of having meetings specifically about that for like 30 minutes with your team and then 30 minutes with my sales counterpart, I'm just going to share those clips. And it's the same when it comes to delivering a presentation. Instead of spending 60 minutes going through every single slide, what about you share a 2-minute clip going through the narrative super quickly and then share that clip with the deck as a pre-read, share it into your channel, and then when you jump on the call, a shorter call, it's just about having a live interactive session with everyone to ask questions and answers right away. Your time is precious. Make the most out of it and use those clips to make those, like the live sessions, much more interesting and valuable for everyone so that everyone stays engaged throughout the whole meeting as well. So I still have a couple of key takeaways for you as part of this presentation or topic. I hope I was able to show that Slack can be a real game changer for customer success teams in terms of providing more proactivity or proactive tools in a way, leading to more efficiency so that the teams can spend more time with the customers, sit down, think strategically, and at scale using those bots or those workflows in a very, very easy way as well. Ultimately, it has an impact on growth, on customer retention, on churn mitigation, and on use cases, understanding the customer pains and gains. Obviously, it doesn't just impact customer success teams or leaders. It impacts the overall organization, starting with the accounting, because you infuse the way you work is going to infuse the rest of the accounting. So it requires a change of mindset. But all in all, Slack can really be a fantastic culture enabler. Again, I'm super conscious, not all of you are a customer of Slack, but the way we've been using Slack, the way we've been using it to answer some of our pains in the customer success world and landscape has really changed the way we do things, again, at scale. So culture enabler, again, Slack can really be that tool. And as with any other change, this can lead to confusion, a bit of fear, a bit of anxiety, a bit of anger as well sometimes. And as said in a very famous book about change management, which is called Who Moved My Cheese, where the quicker you let go of the old cheese, the sooner you're going to be able to enjoy the new cheese. So let's embrace those new cheeses like Slack to disrupt the way we work, to disrupt the way we engage with our peers, with our organization as a whole, with our customers, but also to make our lives more pleasant and more productive. Thank you very much.